the short amount of time that you guys were able to do it was really good, because not only you had to learn this language that you're not fluent in, but you have to act, and like there's so much to think about when just doing that.
Yeah.
So
you're running around, you're barefoot. Again, it's all hours of the day. It's during COVID. We are worrying about the mask. You're acting. I'm crying and crying. And like, and on top of that, it's like you're trying to know your own lines, make sure you're saying them right, pronouncing everything right. Then I also had to learn everyone else's lines, because I had to know,
when to respond, right?
I had to know what they were saying. I had to respond. I couldn't just be like deer in the headlights, just waiting for, their line to be done, because like, again, that's part of our job as actors. And so it was so many layers. And then again, the physicalities when we're running and we're screaming, and oh my God, I was like, going from Finding Ohana is so fun. So Hana, we're like walking around and having fun.
Singing Meghan Trainor.
Yeah, literally, like chilling in the car. And then like this flip. But to me, that was like the true test of an actor for me. Like to see if I was capable of it, and if I enjoyed it, honestly, because that was hard. That was a hard
heavier
movie.
role.
It was heavy. And for me as an actor, I put my all into it. I always do, and I think all really strong actors do. So like, for example, when I was filming When in the Reckoning, like I had to get so far into the mind of Pi'ilani and make it my own in order to feel like I was going to be like encompassing all that she is and doing the best of my ability. And so shedding that layer off when they call cut isn't easy. Like, like sometimes, and especially because we had no time, we filmed the movie in 16 days. So it was run and gun. We were going the whole time. So it's like, okay, you're working. We need go. Then you're like cut, and then you're wrapped, but you go sleep, and then you wake up and you're still in. We film on the same place we live too. So it's like, there was no separation. It was hard to have that. So like, I'd be sitting in my room after, and I'm just like feeling the weight of like I got myself so convinced like my husband is dying and my son is dying. I don't have a husband or a son, but
leprosy
I'm like,
everywhere.
yeah, I'm like sitting in my room, and like I can just feel the heaviness. And it's like I would literally call my mom, and I'd be like, can you just talk about like puppies and kittens and rainbows really quick? Because I'm having a hard time getting myself out, which is like a flaw of actors sometimes.
I hear it. Yeah, method acting, right?
Yeah, it's
like,
a
you
sense
get
of
really
method where you put yourself so hard. And normally you have more time and space to like, okay, you wrap for the day. You go out to a restaurant and you get distracted, and you kind of forget about the character you were just in. But it's like this one, we couldn't leave. We're in a bubble.
You lived there. Where was it filmed?
We were on the Big Island up on like what am I blanking right now?
Like on Kona side, or
no? Why am I freaking blanking? Kohala, sorry, Kohala. Nice. Thank you. Holy moly, jeez, I was like, why is this word not coming to me? We're up on the Kohala side. There was we were on like a plot of land of 55 acres.
Wow.
And so we lived, shot, everything there. And so that's like also a once in a lifetime experience as an actor. Like I'll never experience having to spend every second with my co-stars and my director and my DP and the crew. Like it's normally not like that, and there was no turnover of like new people coming in and out, because like you come in, you got tested, you got in the bubble, you stayed in the bubble, and that was it.
You could never leave.
No, we were stuck. The first time when we wrapped and we actually got to go back to town, we're like, people, cars, whoa, like, because I mean we were on the tippity tip out there, like
koalas,
no, I mean, and we were like shocked at Kohala Town. We're like, whoa, big city, like it was like this tiny little town, and we were so shocked to walk into a restaurant.
It's country. There's country with a C and country with a K, and that's country.
It was beautiful though. I mean, it was beautiful, and it was nice that we were able to film during pandemic in a place tucked away that like everyone could stay safe. And we did our entire production, no COVID cases the entire time. Like that was a feat in itself to make sure that no one. I mean, because if one person got COVID, our whole thing was shut down, and the movie would have been trashed, because our budget was about this big.
Yeah.
So you don't have wiggle room for mistakes like that. So it was really important. We were testing like 3 to 4 times a week you have to wake up, go out. We had our COVID testers out there. We only had and we had to be very creative with shooting schedule of making sure you couldn't normally you can just chill on set and go around and be watch, you couldn't. There was a lot of the movie I didn't even see filmed because I only was shooting when it was my turn to shoot. I didn't get to go and watch other people and do that. And there was only one day where we had everyone had to be in the same scene. There's actually only one scene like that. And that day we literally had to have everyone tested and do the rapid test to make sure that day we knew everyone could film safely together. Yeah. And that was the only way. So it's a massive part of our budget went to COVID test. Genuine. Gone. But a good chunk of it. So it's that's a struggle with independent film, there's not a lot of money there, but we get to control the narrative. We get to do that. And controlling the narrative for a movie like that is important. I can't even imagine what would have happened with the movie if it went to bigger hands in a studio and things like that. I
would have seen some hula skirts.
Yeah, for sure. You would have seen some things you would have not been happy about. And I know for sure they would have never taken the risk of doing it in the Hawaiian language. They would have never done Aloha Hawaii. And we are now seeing at the back end that was a big part that made it difficult for us to distribute. A lot of people were asking, when is the movie coming out? It took a long time because there was such a kickback of these studios didn't want a film in the Hawaiian language, which we always just talked about, what a slap in the face to us, as a people, our language, our culture, that they're saying it's not marketable, it's not sellable. No one's going to want to watch this. And I was that was a hurtful thing after I don't think I thought about it ever that way, because it's there's so many movies out there that show other cultures and other languages, and that's normal. So what's different about us and our story and our language? And it's to them, I think they're there's not enough of you to make enough money for us. So it was it was hard, but it was extra hard after the movie had done its round and it made such an impact. So many people loved the movie, so many people connected to the movie. We were having Hawaiians, non-Hawaiians, other Polynesians, people based in Hawaii, people in Boston and Minneapolis and Indianapolis and things like that, where it's you never expect a movie like this to make waves there and to affect people, and again, especially non-Hawaiians. So it was extra hard that I'm wait, the movie's good though, and people like the movie, but it's you guys still don't want to put it out. So it was
No, it was such a significant moment in film for me, because growing up speaking Hawaiian, you never saw people speaking Hawaiian on the movies or TV shows. Not even really social media, growing up. So seeing that on the big screen was such a cool moment, and just to see how far we've come with the language, it being a dying language and now a thriving language. And I thought it was very impactful just to get the word out there just that this is a real language, and we can do it in Aloha Hawaii, and it can be a successful movie. And that was the thing I was going to bring up with anime, is that you know how many people watch anime in the world?
Exactly.
And they're reading subtitles
all day.
Subtitles. I read subtitles all the time.
It's a cartoon still, and I love that it's not just kids. It's literally a span. There's such a big audience for it, and that's why I'm people watch K-dramas, people watch anime.
Exactly,
there's such an audience. Parasite, things like this that are massive.
Squid Games. That's subtitles. Money Heist.
Money Heist.
Yeah.
As I said, it's a total thing. So it was really, I think that's what hurt more. It was just it was because it was us and our language, and that just
it's Hawaiian language, more niche.
It's too.
Who's gonna care about Hawaiian?
Yeah. So it was hard, but whatever. At the end of the day, we got it out there, go watch it, guys. Amazon, Apple, When the Reckoning's available now.
Yes. So that's a new thing. You guys got the international distribution.
Yeah.
Which is a thing that's very rare in Hawaii made films, which is I've learned about that more recently, is we have all these great films that are made here, but getting distribution is the hardest part.
It's so hard. It was hard for us. It was literally hard for us. And, we were working with people who've done this, who've been in the industry for a long time, and they still struggled. So to get that just done alone, we give ourselves, you know, a pat on the back, because that's big, that's huge. And like you said, my whole thought about this is like, just again, it's kind of like Finding Ohana with Winning the Reckoning. It's opening the door. It's the first of many. Yeah, I mean, and of course, are there going to be critics of like all Hawaii things? Yeah, always. But to me, it's this idea that making some movement forward is better than nothing. So like me, I knew my passion was always going to be acting and performing and film and television. So it was like, how can I use my passion, my medium, to help my culture, help Hawaii, you know, help elevate. And to me, it's like how you just said, Winning the Reckoning. Yeah, we didn't have a lot of time and everything, but I still feel proud that we did it. We got it out there. And now there is a movie with our Hawaiian language that, say there's a moment again that the language starts to die off. If there's a generation 5 times down now, they can watch this movie and have that, like, you know, we never really had anything. And I feel like, and I not only feel, I know that people have watched this movie and it's rekindled something in them. That's like, we've gotten a lot of conversations of people who are like, seeing it like on a screen like this, it made me want to reconnect to it. It made me want to explore that again. And to me, like, that's the stuff that we should be looking for. That's what we should be pushing for and supporting. And that's why we're just kicking the door open. And like, this was not easy to kick this door open. You know, it took a lot of time. We spent a lot of hours and hours and days not only working on this, but then getting it out to the world. Like, that wasn't like like Finding Ohana was a easy walk in the park, you know. Netflix, it was done. It was like, we filmed the movie and Netflix is gonna put it out and do it, and everything's set up. Like, this was like Hawaii grassroots movement type vibe with this movie of like, these are just Hawaii people who cared about it and wanted to get it done. Many people sacrificed time and money, and we had to fight to get, you know, sponsors and stuff to get us around, to get the word out. But we did it, and we were fine, and we were happy with it. And you know, I volunteered a lot of hours to go out and support the film and do it. And I'm happy to see that it's getting the recognition right now. And I just see that as the opening for others. Like, I'm like, I will always hold the door open. Like, I don't have time for the small table, you know, like the whole thing is like, oh, no seat at the table, build the bigger table. Like, that's all we're trying to do. Yeah. And I think
Bring
that's
some
the
chairs.
Only, yeah, exactly. I would say I got some foldable chairs in the back.
Exactly. That's Hawaiian style.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's local style.
I like sit on the ground.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah,
sit on the kulas,
excited.
everything. Yeah. That's awesome. So before we get into social media questions, we gotta take a shishi break. The shishi meters building.
It's going.
It's going. So what was your biggest takeaway from that? From the Win and the Reckoning?
Oh man, I think for me, the biggest takeaway was, I have actually a few of these.
Yeah.
One for me was, I know that was a reconnecting for me to the culture and Hawaii. Like we talked about, I moved to LA. I left. I was out there, and there's nothing, you know, there's nothing Hawaii about it out there. So and in this industry, it's so easy to get caught up in the rat race that I know that there was that part of me that got kind of shelved and I didn't explore it for a while because I was just so laser focused on my career and things like that I know there's parts of me that I wasn't giving time to. And being on this production during COVID, that kind of pulled me away from the rest of the world and had me really sit. We didn't have Wi-Fi, we didn't have TVs, we didn't have none of that. You know, there was just a lot of silence and connection back to, and being on this homeland, sacred land there. I know for me personally, it kind of really helped me rekindle that connection, because I know it had faded, because that's what happens when you're away. You know, sometimes if you're not actively working on it and practicing, it goes away. So I know for me that was a big thing, and it was such a accomplishment to do this film in the language, and I never thought I could. Like, again, I don't even like, I don't even know where it came from in me of being able to tackle that. I just like, I've talked about the fact that I almost turned down the role because I was too afraid to take it on in that short amount of time, and I knew the weight that role carried. I knew there was going to be a lot of responsibility doing something like this when it's kind of the first of its kind, first time our language is really going to be put up like that. These are real people, historical Hawaiian figures, a real part of our history. And like, thinking that I only had 2 weeks to prepare for it, I was just like, you guys are crazy. Like, I can't do this. I'm not going to do that. It almost felt like career and cultural, like suicide at the start of the night, you know, like it really did. When I was like, you think I'm just going to like take this lightly as a joke, like, and so I really, there was a big hesitation. I almost left. I really did. And
same with Jason. I remember him saying
both
that
of us, we did. But we were very lucky that our culture advisors and David and everything, they like came and they were like, you guys can do this. Like, it's in your blood. It's part of who you guys are. It's in the cocoa. Guys, it's in the cocoa.
And in doing that and going through all those hardships, you guys found Ohana.
Yeah. We found Ohana. Wow, look at these. The circles in my life are just circles.
Exactly.
Man.
And honestly, you know, you had 2 weeks to prepare, but
Yeah.
you've been preparing since the 2nd grade at Kamehameha schools, Imua.
Guys.
Mahalo Pawahi.
Yeah, I know. Boy, Bishop. Pledge to develop our potential in all we do. Yeah, no, it was just like, I knew, I think the moment that I sat in that made me not leave was the fact of being conscious that there was only 2 weeks till we started filming, and I didn't know if I could be sure that whoever they could find in that short amount of time to take on this was going to put the same dedication and weight to this situation. And I think there was a part of me that I was like, I know me. I'm not going to take this lightly. I'm going to put all my heart and soul into this and make sure it's done right. And it worked out that I was like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. I'm so scared. I was so scared. Hours and hours of practicing. Jason and I talk about how we didn't even talk to each other when we filmed because we were so focused.
Studying.
Yeah, we were in our rooms, like just constant. I mean, you know, we found our moments to hang and relax, but just it was like lingering in the back of your head always and making sure. But we were also ultra careful because we had our kumus on set, literally mic'd up, and they would hear everything we would say, and if there was like mistakes, we'd go back and start it again and do it again. And so we really tried to eliminate any like errors in any room for error as well. So I don't know how we did that in 16 days and learned the language and performed and everything. The only fluent speaker was Kahiao, our son. So it was like, it was truly insane. But again, this opening of this door that I'm just hoping. I wish we had more like natural born speakers, and hopefully there's more natural born speakers who also want to pursue acting.
That's
know?
the thing.
Like,
Because there's a lot
speakers.
There's a lot of native speakers in Hawaii, or just like people who are fluent, but like they don't act.
Yeah,
I don't act. Like I'm not gonna go out for that role, you know. So like that's the thing.
It was a weird middle ground we were battling because like that was a lot of conversation of like we were gonna just get speakers, but we couldn't be confident that they would be able to act and hold up a role of this size. So it's like hard, but it's been cool. Again, I can. There's like there's we have a few speakers in the classes already, so it's cool to see that. I'm like, oh my god, how exciting! Like when projects come like this, like you guys walk in the park, like you guys will be able to do that so easy. So I'm just excited to see like what's coming, because I feel this like shift in what's happening here in our industry in general, but also in Hawaii, and I see it. It's coming. It's
coming. Stay tuned.
I know.
Summer 2025.
Yeah. Hopefully
it's coming.
sooner.